You sure there's
Coconut ring.
Yeah,
My favourite.
Coconut ring.
Your
It's like,
paddling
great.
cards beside you, my
Couldn't
friend.
kill you to use canola instead.
Adam, have you got my paladin card there?
They're usually all down here.
Definitely not this one, yeah?
Yeah, it's not that one.
No?
Behind you?
It's behind you. No, that's just Pokemon.
These are all druid cards down here. Well,
Oh wait,
guess you got no
what's
spells.
this? What was
What's
this?
that? Right in front of
Mine's
you.
in front of your
Wait,
face.
so they were here, directly behind the glass. But like in line with it, so it looked like that was the contents of the glass.
What cards?
Yeah, it was just like
nice.
it was just the dark.
I
the
repeat
dark
my
sheen.
earlier sentiment.
From Johnny's point of view, you can see them quite clearly.
Fucking hell, these are jammed in here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Jam them in.
Are they, yeah.
We're live, by the way, but
You got blessed.
Are we?
as always, we're
You got blessed?
No, there's a start of
Full of
ones I don't
gold.
have.
They're the ones you don't have. Okay.
and so professional.
Bosh. My work here is done.
That's done. That's done.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And you're okay.
You're okay, Annie.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing the donuts.
I do
No
enjoy
worries,
that.
I had a
Treat.
craving.
Yeah.
Key had a craving for yo sushi, or sushi, and I had a craving for
It
donuts.
was because it's like vegan Wednesdays, and I just wanted shit tons of all the like vegan stuff.
Fair.
I really wasn't
I'm
feeling
a fan of
sashimi,
vegan.
whereas I usually fucking love sashimi. But no, I wanted like
They've got these
I wanted
awesome
the
new
versions of all the
share
things.
plates
Oh.
for £13.40. Had all the salmon in my life.
The thing is, I eat so much when I go to your sushi, and then I like
Yeah.
tot at the bill at the end. I'm like,
Super Sumo Sundays. It
Where's
used
the
to be
Sumo
amazing.
Sundays gone? Yeah.
They've taken it
Oh,
away, and
no,
it used to be the best.
yeah.
We've got a new name in chat which I really like, and it is "Good is not nice."
I was doing that last week.
Where are they? Oh, I missed them. Really
Okay.
good.
Live and working.
That's almost as good as that's almost as poetic as how often people say like good is not a virtue.
Good is not a
Nice
virtue.
isn't a virtue at Empire.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what else is not a virtue? Being a buzzkill.
Right.
Everything's a virtue of your
I mean,
ambition.
it's
Yeah. Spicy virtues.
We're
Spicy.
nearly ready. We'll be.
spicy virtues.
Thank Christ. Some fucking good virtues.
So anyone who's in chat, we used to. Well, once we tried putting like a flash screen on while we were getting ready, and then when we actually came to start, all of the mics were completely off sync. You remember that?
Oh, we
Yeah.
had
They
to do
were
the
fun
clap.
times. So we can't actually do that because it takes forever to then resync everything for some reason.
You guys are brilliant.
It's really fun. If anyone wants to ask any of the players anything, now is the chance. While I frantically make some notes.
And then we see how weird this gets, how fast.
YouLARP. Why are you not working, Twitch?
Is that the question?
No, that's just.
Why are you not working?
Why are you not working? Do you know what? I like being subscribed, but at the same time, I liked having the advert beforehand, so I know that I was actually going live.
Best LARP you've been to?
What's the best LARP everyone's been to?
I only have a very limited experience of LARPs. I tend to just go to big ones and commit to them. So I've not been to lots.
I went to Culture Wizardry in one of the early games of that, and it was incredible, mostly because the setting is incredible. It's got a bit niche now, and every game is like a specific theme. So then the next one's going to be like Werewolf War, and so it's kind of like fascist wizard school, and it's a bit like Book 7 Harry Potter sort of thing, which it's some people's jam, but not really mine. The best like blockbuster one I've gone to was All for One, which was
amazing.
I literally only managed to get a ticket because somebody dropped out 24 hours before the game started, and we were doing mid-month airsoft that weekend, so I could leave Johnny cracking on with cooking burgers, and it was basically. It wasn't like invite only, but it was one of those games that they hadn't advertised and they hadn't really spoken about. It'd just been like people getting drunk together at other games and being like, right, I've got this idea. It's going to be great. We're all Musketeers in Musketeer Academy, like 20 years on from the Three Musketeers book. All the players are like recruits who are trying to become Musketeers. and it's rather than it actually being you are a musketeer, you are an actor in a production of the Three Musketeers.
Sounds amazing.
And so whenever you weren't, like, all the terminology they used was really cool because it was all film-based terminology. So when you were moving to the woods to do your linear in the woods, you were going to your second unit thing, and so there was all the refs had brown jackets on, like they were like scene shifters or direct,
That's
so
cool.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
yeah, and so they were referring to all the skirmish crews, the extras, or the there was the whole second unit. There was just like the green screen area, which was like the I can't remember what they called it. Essentially a room where they had a massive projector. They had 2 or 3 really amazing actors on it, just on standby in there the entire time. And so you go in when you were on the tune duty, which just meant you had an hour of role play. Like anything you did in the green screen room happened in between the acts later on. But and you'd have to role play after you left the room that you were just on the tune duty, like digging holes basically. But you'd go in there, you'd say to the guy in the brown jacket, okay, so I think we're supposed to be going to meet the Pope. So that's what we've been told that we're doing. We've got to try and achieve in the next few hours. And so he'd go, okay, and then press the button, and then there'd be a projection of the south of France. Be like, okay, you've travelled from the Musketeer Academy to this vineyard in the south of France, and then the guys in there would just put a few tables out, and then put some seats out, and then be like, bonjour, you're passing through my vineyard. I don't think you can pass without having a go at our great drinking game with Bottomless Marie. and then we'd do and then time pass. So we'd all bet on who would win between one of our musketeers and Bottomless Marie. And then we do okay, time passes, and we'd cut, move more bottles onto the table, and then continue. And so it's like it was a film.
I didn't realise that was one
you.
of the one of the core elements of it.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was that was only one of you did that twice a day, and then you'd have a on location shoot twice a day as well, where you go into the woods and you'd have a location shooting where it was like a standard linear of we bump into Andy Connell and 5 other guys and fight them or pickpocket them or argue with them. Or the best one, because our musketeer tabards were reversible, so it was blue on one side for when you're a musketeer, but if you were wanting to be going incognito, you could swap it inside out and it was red, and so you could pass as one of the Cardinal's guards. And so we were walking down the street pretending to be Cardinal's guards, and we bumped into a load of musketeers. And then so we had to pretend to be Cardinal's guards, and we were acting very snooty, and they were acting really drunk and louche and ridiculous. And it turned out that they were Cardinal's guards, pretending to be musketeers. And so we turned into a massive scrap. Really, really good fighting. I had a one-on-one knife fight against Nick Turner, which was just fucking superb fighting. Then we just tied each other out. And so we were just do you want to go for a drink? So we were sitting at the side of the road, just sharing a bottle of wine, while both of our teams were then fighting. And we're yeah, good fight, yeah. But at one point, one of my lot and one of his lot, they got confused as to what tabard they should have been wearing, and so they were fighting back to back as musketeers. And then one of them realised that, oh no shit, I'm a Cardinal's guard. Shit, I need to fight you. It was just one of those fucking amazing. I mean, I dropped there was a in order to get lunch on one day, we had to go into a tavern, which was a full marquee set up, and all the skirmish crew were sitting around the outside in this tavern. All the food that we could have was on these massive tables, twice the size of this one, and about 30% of it was real food, and the rest of it was LARP safe food on LARP safe skillets and platters and everything like that. And there was lovely glass goblets and jugs on the table as well. And we were told before at the start of that act that all of us had lost our money in however way we wanted to roleplay it. We're all just terrible recruits who were just constantly betting on things and drinking everything we could possibly afford. And so we went into the tavern, and immediately the barkeep was like, well, you can't have any food until you pay us And it immediately turned into a bar fight where it turned out that everything that the skirmish crew was sitting on was also LARP safe. And so it meant that somebody immediately sprung up with a bench and just started swinging the bench. But there was one person in the corner, and obviously you could pick up all the food and smack somebody in the face with a salmon, and all the glass was sugar glass, so you could smash everything.
That's so cool.
But there's a guy standing in the corner, and if you hit him with anything, he let go of the rope he was holding, and a LARP safe chandelier fell out of the ceiling and hit the 3 people who were standing underneath it, who were fighting in that spot so that they could be hit with a chandelier. It just felt like you were in a 1970s Musketeer movie. There's so many things I want to steal from it.
Okay.
I will be stealing from it.
And there we go. Good is not nice. Minno's comment.
That was a bit of a rant.
That was a long
and he said,
Sorry.
So if you didn't catch that, it was a Musketeers LARP.
Running again. They refused to ever run again.
And they said they had a game once where their players were fighting in an alternative World War One, where fantasy creatures suddenly attacked everyone from nowhere. So humans
that's
kind of.
interesting.
Do you know what I've
Go
heard
fight
of?
back.
You know the Love, Death and Robots? You know the, what was it, Secret War episode?
Yes.
Someone's making a LARP of that. I'm
Really?
like,
I love that episode.
That's
That
the
is my favourite
and-
episode.
one of my favourites as well. I loved it.
It's like modern Varushka, isn't it? Like 20th
It's
century
basically
Varushka.
21st century Russia. In fact, for us, at Green Cloaks, it's our time.
Yeah.
It's
So
the ending.
the massive jackets and everything, the supernatural creatures.
But
I would
less
love
space.
to go there. Less space.
It's
Love
just when he's just like, you're God to bomb us. And then
Yes. She was like, go get into bombers. We're good.
Right.
Oh,
Should we do
if
this?
that happens, I'm on it.
Sorry, whenever anybody asks that question, it just turns like at one point at Empire on Thursday last year, last event, me and Nick Turner were just drunk together in the forge, and if we could trap somebody and froth at them, we just kept doing it. It was like, oh, you're asking us a question, get in the corner, right, and then just acting stuff out. It was terrible. It was bad. I want a LARP safe chandelier for the meat hall, or 2.
Someone else has asked for the best Empire skirmish, but that will start a whole kettle of fish.
My skirmish that I won, that was the best Empire skirmish. What was it? 50 marchers and a couple of Dornish people against 75 Overwatch at night in a fort, and I got them to put down. Didn't have to defeat them all. Put down their weapons. Boom! Did it all in 10 minutes.
Overwatch are the really heavy...
Overwatch are the ones that are really
heavy
good against
Jotun, yeah?
marchers.
Okay.
Because they just pile in and just go past the pole arms.
Are they the shield-bearing
Yeah.
Jotun? Yeah.
Basically, I
Basically whipped them up, but-
recruited a load of Orzels. Was like, they're not going to expect shields,
No.
so I just went, you guys go play, and then
Brilliant.
we'll come and.
Nice.
It was great. And I'm so happy.
Excuse me.
Been on some pretty good ones.
I've been on too many skirmishes to think of a good one.
The one that Sam organised, where you had to go and fight the Chimera, was pretty good.
Oh, that was pretty good. Yeah. One-on-one on Chimera. That was an awesome costume as well. But no, I like fighting the husks and things like that, because you can be more heroic.
Yeah, you're not having to think about they're going to fight back.
They're going to fight back as hard. But also then having like about 15 husks just appear on like the right, and there's you and like 3 other mates, and you're like, right, let's do this.
Just
and
fight.
And you just cut them, and you cut through them, and it makes you feel like a hero of the Empire when you can